already told you people. First one's free. Then what I say? I said I will shut that shit down. No exceptions. Now, I don't know what kind of lying assholes you've been dealing with, but I'm a man of my word. First impressions are important. I need you to know me. So, back to it.
Okay, we're about to get off into the citizenship and immigration part. Spoke on the last video about sundown towns, and nah, that's not what I wanted to talk about. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna try to read, and hopefully it comes to me while I'm reading. But if it doesn't, it's still be a Negan swing. So get right into it. Citizenship includes the right to vote and own land, and to be employed by American industries and unions. I didn't highlight this part, but I think it's beneficial for this video, or significant for this video. The earliest Webster's dictionary defined the term American as a citizen of the United States or of the earlier British colonies, one not belonging to one of the Aboriginal races. Now, in case you don't know what an Aboriginal is, for a lot of the conscious people, they know what an Aboriginal is, but there are many of you who do not know what Aboriginal is. So, Aboriginal is this. That we have three definitions for the word. The first one is an adjective: inhabiting or existing in a land from the earliest times or from before the arrival of colonists. Indigenous. That's what Aboriginal is. Aboriginal is another word for indigenous. Let's see. Okay, here we go. An Aboriginal inhabitant of a place. This is the noun. And then the second noun is any of the numerous Australian Aboriginal languages. So it's really more so ties in to the Australian people. Whenever the word Aboriginal is brought up, Australians are the first ones to come to mind. But Aboriginals are based on the first definition, which is an adjective, which means inhabiting or existing in a land from the earliest times, before the arrival of colonists. This is also indigenous. Okay, so what does that mean when it says one not belonging to one of the Aboriginal races? So when you say Aboriginal races, you're saying the indigenous races. Okay, so when you say you're not belonging to the indigenous races, I made a video called Debating White People 101, when they say go back to Africa. I think it was called using Moorish ideology, I believe. But well, I can see what it's called. Let me see what it's called. Bear with me. But yeah, I could say this while I'm looking. If you're saying Aboriginal races, you're saying the let's see, American. That's the word that is being defined in the paragraph. it says one not belonging to one of the Aboriginal races. And it says one of the Aboriginal races, which means the Native Americans, which were the Indians, the red men, and then you had black people who were already here. And those are the two Aboriginal races that they are talking about when they say one of the Aboriginal races. Okay, now the video that I had made is called Debating White People 101, concerning slavery using Moorish rebuttals. And I want you to go check out that video and look at the read the description box. Okay. But yeah. The United States Constitution established that for the purpose of white political representation, blacks would be counted as 3/5 of a human being. And this is something that we already know, but this is pretty much the start of it was, in the Constitution. But even this obvious affront was deceptive, because blacks actually had no rights at all, not 3/5 or even 1/5, 0. Okay. The Supreme Court provided the coup de grace, and in the 1857 Dred Scott decision, ordered the blacks were so far inferior that they had no rights, which the white man was bound to respect. Now, I'm going to repeat that again, and I'm going to put the Dred Scott video links in the description box, because they have a few videos on those. I mean, a few videos on that particular case all over YouTube. And whenever we say that that we're not equal, white people don't tend to acknowledge the Dred Scott decision. Okay. And I would encourage a lot of you black people to get Black's Law Dictionary. You have to get it. Okay. And I'm still waiting on my Moorish brothers to get with me on that what is it, the Korryn gains, and you could send me your email address if you don't want to talk about it on YouTube, and we could talk about it there. But the Dred Scott decision is really what we kind of cling on to as one, but it is the major proofs that black people are a target here in America. European immigrants had a long-standing favored position in American society, and all were allowed citizenship in the late 1770s. Okay? And I'm going to bring it up again. Whenever, and I'm going to put, I think I'll put that at the end of this video too. The, what was it? The, Debating White People 101, where I address where they say, well, my ancestors are not responsible. Okay. this book will show you how much, how deeply involved your ancestors was without even being consciously involved. You see what I'm saying? And I would still say that they're consciously involved, because if I'm reaching out for help, and I believe a lot of black people did, a lot of black people were scared because of the, that they still had the skin color of their oppressor, but still, I believe that there were black people who reached out to these immigrants because they knew that the immigrants were being treated somewhat the same during the the time that the stock market crashed, okay, the Great Depression, which I just did a video on. I haven't uploaded it yet at the time of me making this video. But whenever a white person says that their ancestors were not responsible and that their ancestors did not own slaves, those ancestors still benefited from the oppressed, or the more so oppressed, African American. Okay. Let's see. Looking at some numbers here. Let's see. The 1924 Immigration Act established a total annual immigrant quota of 164,667, and further delineated. Okay, here we go again, y'all. And the words be so short and they be so simple, but these are words that I've never seen before. So I want to make sure that I pronounce it right. Oop, spelled it wrong.
Delineate.
Delineate?
Delineate.
Okay, that's what she said. Delineate. Okay. Delineated the number of... Oh, hold on. Let me see what it means. Describe or portray precisely. Okay. That's what it means. Indicate the exact position of a border or boundary. That's definition number 2. So, delineated. So let's okay, yeah. And further delineated the number of entrants by country. Okay. A few examples of this marvelous legislation provide a perfect indicator of the racial intent of America's white leaders. Okay. So, immigrants annually to come into America. Okay, check this out. These are the immigrants and the country that they come from. Germany immigrants, 51,227. Great Britain and North Ireland, 34,007. Sweden had 9,561. Norway, 6,453. France, 3,954. Okay. If you don't have this book, I want you to get a paper and pen, and I want you to write the numbers down. Rewind this back to where I began with Germany. Write those numbers down, and then I want you to compare to these numbers that I'm about to say now. Black immigrants who came into this country from Africa, and this is the whole continent, 1,200. Australian blacks, 121. Palestinian blacks, 100. Syrian blacks, 100. Turkish blacks, 100. New Zealand and the Pacific Island blacks, 100. Now I'm going to jump a few paragraphs straight to this next one. And this is going to be the last paragraph of this part. Immigration laws and favorable quotas for Europeans severely limited the competition whites would have to face and secured their position in the upper classes. Let me read that again. Immigration laws and favorable quotas for Europeans severely limited the competition whites would have to face and secured their position in the upper classes. Okay. So, that's the, let's see. Okay, yeah. That's the last one. So, reading that last part, reading that last sentence of this last part, well, not the last part, but the citizenship and immigration part. The whole purpose of these videos, like I have said before, is to prove that blacks are not just making excuses for themselves. Okay, we're not just making excuses for ourselves. We're not just trying to pull somebody's leg. We're not just, we're not just making stuff up. We're not trying to put on a front. Those of us that do our research know what is going on behind closed doors. Just based off of research, just based off of the little research that we do, we can determine what's going on behind closed doors. When you look at life as like you're playing chess, in chess you can predict the moves that your opponent is about to make. See, a lot of you blacks, you still want to play checkers. Okay? We have to move up. We have to excel in our thinking. We have to excel in our in the way that we accept life or portray life or perceive the way that we perceive life. Okay, and the things that go on in it. A lot of these things aren't just coincidences, and I believe that there's no such thing as coincidence. I believe that everything happens for a reason. Okay? But learn how to play chess. And look at life differently. Not just with my videos. That's why I always put links in the description boxes, and many of them comes from a white guy by the name of Keith Hughes, and I have been following Keith Hughes ever since I've been subscribed to or ever since I've had a YouTube account. I just like the way that he breaks down. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with that he says, but this is a white person that white people listen to. Okay? But there are other people on YouTube who have a lot of knowledge concerning these things. My hope, I'm not trying to bring no off the chain superior knowledge. I'm just letting you guys know that there's a book, and that this one little bitty book contains so much information that can wake up so many of our people. Okay. But yeah, you know, to you know, make this video not too much longer than it has to be.
Are you still there? I don't know. It seems like you're trying to speak, but you just took a hell of a hit. I just popped your skull so hard, your eyeball just popped out. And it is gross as shit. God, I'll find you. Oh, hell. I can see this is hard on you guys. I am sorry. I truly am. But I did say it. No exceptions.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I said I was gonna, you know, get better at this. But the next part that we're going to be going over is called Farmers Home Administration, FHA. Okay, this is for white farmers only. Farmers Home Administration. That's what we going to talk about in the next video. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in that video. Peace.